Move on to Mr. Christos Onoufriou. We actually get rarely this kind of an opportunity to listen to the hands-on experience of top professionals like Mr. Christos Onoufriou, who is the CEO of Odyssey Cybersecurity. We are all ears. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, I came here and I was excited. And then Stavriana told us that 100 years ago, it was a single channel, and suddenly I felt 100 years old. Because I actually lived this single channel situation. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have a live audience willing to hear what we have to say. I'll run a quick video to have an experience that I think we all have lived through.
You're muted again.
Yeah, you are. You got to turn on the microphone icon.
New trick. Do that to Ryan.
This has been so great, you guys. Thanks for all the gifts.
Is there anything that you didn't get that you wanted?
No. I wish we could all be together.
Oh, honey, we will be soon enough.
As soon as the planet stops trying to kill us.
Technology can go kiss my ass.
Hey, look at there. Ed's back.
Νομίζω όλοι το ζήσαμε το σενάριο τα τελευταία 2 χρόνια. Ήρθαμε πίσω, συνεχίζουμε. Η Έλενα και η Σταυριάνα, πέρα από το depression που με προκάλεσε, μου έδωσαν έτσι κάποιες καλές πάσες. I will switch to English now, since it's an English-speaking conference. So, Elena and Stavriana, they've opened the floor to some nice and interesting subjects that have to do with how we connect and how we protect things. Currently, cybersecurity is part of what we experience. It's not something that's specifically defined in digital economy, and we don't see it as users of the digital economy. However, it needs to be taken into account. Otherwise, the 86% Stavriana mentioned that you blow somebody away and he's willing to pay more, then it becomes 86% of the people that are actually blown away because their systems are going offline are willing to pay in order to get their systems back online. Cybersecurity needs to become part of the risk manager's agenda. Currently, cyber threats are everywhere. How many of you come from an IT and cybersecurity role within your organizations? And how many of you come from the business? How many of you that come from the business have actually categorized cyber risk as an operational risk? The rest of you, why you haven't? It's everywhere. It's in the social life we live in the business we run. There is cyberbullying, criminal activities, industrial espionage, extortion, even government-led cyber attacks. The fact is that you cannot control everything. You cannot control what people are supposed to be doing and what actions people are going to do. What you can actually control is how you react to this. That you can actually control. This is a question that no one wants to be asked, and even more, no one wants to answer. somebody spending money, he considers that that will never actually happen. Cyber risks are so big today that due to the geopolitical situation in Russia and Ukraine, all you hear about is cyber warfare. It's a weaponized and it's a globally, it can actually globally reach everyone. We have reached a point where we realized, and I hope you realized, that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We've been saying this for years, and as the digital economy grows, and as things get meshed, it's even more apparent that it will happen. You might get this much or this much attacked. You might lose all of your data or some of it. However, you need to be protected. When you protect, you have two things to consider. One is how well are you protected, and how will you react when you actually get attacked. Those are the two things that the parameters that you need to take into consideration. Business leaders need to take and have into their agenda cyber risk. The reason is very simple. The boardroom and the C-level, they need to take the issues of cybersecurity into their agenda. The reason is that cyber threats are business disruptors. They're not some IT games that we're playing everywhere. I think this is obvious. It has been obvious forever. And it's obvious for life as well. Like Stavriana says, life happened. We don't make a life insurance because we want to die. We don't make a medical insurance because we want to get sick. I'm sorry for the black humor, but that is life. We do it because we want to be resilient. We want to have a plan B if something happens which we do not control. What is cyber resilience? Cyber resilience is the evolution of cybersecurity. It's a holistic reaction to an attack. It takes into consideration holistically the whole approach of how we react, prioritizing our resources, the technical means, the forms we need to complete, the regulators we want to inform, the press announcements we need to make, how we react. We used to protect our infrastructure from the bad guys not coming in. They have evolved, and we have evolved as well in how we protect. We need to be ready. We need to have cyber resilience. We have now reached the point where we accepted that we won't go forever without being attacked. We will get attacked, and most probably at some point we will have a successful attack as well. If you look into World Economic Forum, NIST, ECB, the World Bank, anyone that has cybersecurity within their reach and within their regulatory framework is talking about cyber resilience. Resilience in this case is what happens after the attack. How do we react, and how do we lock the bad guys in or out of the organization, and how we adapt, and how we recover from an attack. I think this digital landscape, there's no one here that will question that this is what we live in. Cloud adoption is on the rise. Hybrid working environment, we've all experienced it over the last 2 years and in a very forceful way. And digital transformation, I think, first of all, it's the phrase of the decade. Starting from the digital economy, most of it resides on cloud infrastructures. Billions and billions and billions, I can't tell you how many billions, how many times of dollars have been spent by big organizations like Microsoft and Azure and Amazon and Oracle and IBM and everybody to make the cloud available. Make it easy for us to go there. We have resilience, elasticity, and hopefully it also has a reduction in the cost of ownership. At the same time, business and cybersecurity leaders need to have a secure cloud migration plan in order to manage the cost and the risk. The hybrid working environment, I think it's there. It's here to stay. Many people are wishing they didn't spend so much time at home because we had this too much family and too much love encounters, especially people with small kids. Nevertheless, we are at an era where we have the everywhere employees. From any device, any application, and that creates a problem. It creates a problem of security for organizations. Not all organizations are ready to take the employee, give him a nice laptop, have these nice VPNs and all the infrastructure to actually connect. Some people are working from home from their own unsecured devices because there was no other way to sustain the business and continue working. And people, once again, were identified as the weakest link. Digital transformation, it's an opportunity. In order for the nice things Elena and all the other people have discussed, and Stavriana has showed us the omni-channel, in order for that to happen, there needs to be some kind of digital transformation. Some organizations need to do this much, and for some other organizations, they need to do a digital revelation. They realize that there is a digital world. The problem with this is that things became complex. If you just look at one of the slides Elena showed, where she had on the left the Bank of Cyprus services, on the right what the customer wanted, and at the bottom the various vendors that integrated, and that was only one platform. And that was only the platform without taking into consideration the connectivity, your own systems. That creates complexity. And obviously, it also creates dependency. When you look at this complexity, the only way forward is zero trust. Whatever digital transformation, digital economy, e-commerce you want to discuss, the major thing each organization needs to do is protect itself. There's no point in entering the digital economy when 5, 6 a year down the road, you're out of business. So there is to be zero trust. You need to build systems and strategy that you trust no person, no device, and no application. It's complex. We established that it's very complex. And the perimeter we don't know where it is anymore. Is it at my house when I work from home? Is it at a colleague's house? Is it at the cloud provider? Where is it? So we need to change the way we do things. There is no point, and we're not suggesting, and we do not want to cultivate fear. We need to identify the risks and embrace the change, because it's happening, with or without us. People like these business disruptors like Uber and Revolut and Airbnb and all these people have been accepted by the market. So the only way is digital. And once we accept the risk, then we can move forward. There is a new set of digital risks. We need to identify them. We need to address them in all vectors of our business, which is people, process, and technology. And then we can minimize our operational risk and move forward. Cyber leaders, cybersecurity leaders need to have access to the business leaders. You need to know what your business counterparts are doing, and you, who are the majority, the business leaders here, you need to have access to your cybersecurity leaders and involve them in your decisions. There's no point in selling something when you don't exist anymore. It's not a technology discussion anymore. It's a business discussion. The funny thing is, if you go back, not 100 years, criminal organizations employed not so skilled people, and the difficult part was finding the tools, the guns, the explosives, the surveillance equipment in order to perform the criminal acts. Today, in the cyber crime world, the tools are the easy part. The difficult part is finding the talent to perform the actual attack. We are moving from a cyber defense to cyber resilience in order, like we said before, to be able to react during an attack. You have, and since most of you are business oriented, you have to address the elephant in the room. You have to address the fact that and work from a standpoint of I will be breached and react on that. You need to build a cyber resilience strategy. And in order to do that, you need to do that through a holistic methodology that will start from identifying the risks involved in your own business, because it's not one size fits all. You need to assess where you are and what is the likelihood of those risks materializing within your organization. Create a plan how you move forward. Create alliances that will help you through this journey. Implement the plan. Monitor that the plan is performing the way you expect it to perform. And do not be somebody, which I was one of them. You think you have a spare car, a spare wheel in your car, and when you get a flat tire, you find out it's either missing or that's flat as well. You need to be prepared and monitor. Having the right cooperations and having the right help available, it's very important, because you will need it when you will need it, and you need to have it available. And in parallel, you do an update of where the organization is. If something has changed, and you see if those changes within the organization actually have anything to do and affect your cyber resilience and your cyber security. One of the major problems we have in creating the cyber resilience strategy is the fact that we, supposedly the good guys, we do not exchange information about attacks, about successful breaches. And it's not a Greek thing, not a Cyprus thing, it's a global thing. We think that we can get away with it and it will disappear magically if we don't mention it to anybody. You are wrong. Because the bad guys, the adversaries, are sharing information. They already know you've been attacked, they know if you were successful, and they know how to react if they were not successful. I know it's not an easy thing. There is regulations, there's GDPR, still, that is a problem for all of us when we create a cyber resilient, successful strategy. The difference between having a cyber resilience strategy and not having one is whether when the attack happens, you will have business continuity or business existence. It's that simple in the digital world that we're trying to create. Finally, organizations and cybersecurity leaders, along with their business counterparts, you need to answer 4 questions. What is the business doing? You cannot be disassociated one from the other. What is the business doing? What are the adversaries doing? What is happening with other peers within your own industry and neighboring industries? You're not an island. You need to know what other people are doing. This is why we have forums, this is why we have discussions. And last, what are the regulators doing? If you can answer those 4 questions, you can more easily create a solid cyber resilience strategy. Before the nice certifications, recognitions, awards, I think that the most exciting thing is that this month we have a birthday anniversary of Odyssey, 20 years. It's an amazing thing for us, and it's an amazing trip with all our colleagues and people that work with us, that we have reached so much and we have done so much. Of course, the downside is that the 20 years means that we're 20 years older. We're close to 100. This is the 3rd time I'm saying it. This is how much depression I have inside of me now. Anyway, so thank you very much for being here.